So you want an open relationship. What could go wrong? Literally everything. If you want to talk to your partner about opening up your relationship and you don't want it to blow up in your face, you're gonna wanna watch this whole video. Don't skip a single step. Shortcuts here can easily turn into breakups. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I'm Iseman, a relationship coach and certified communication specialist with a focus on open relating. Whether you choose to open up your relationship to include other people or you just open up more authentically to each other, I want you to open up without blowing up. This channel shares all the lessons that I've learned the hard way so you don't have to. So you want to try an open relationship? Cool, good news. Open relationship dynamics can be incredibly rewarding and add a great deal of richness and intimacy to an already healthy relationship. Do you know why you want to open up? If not, pause this video right now and download my free What the Fuck Do You Want workbook to figure that out. No point trying to go somewhere if you don't even know why you want to get there in the first place. Welcome back. Now that you've got your big why, let's talk about the talk. Context is key. So remember that this conversation is an invitation. It's not about coercing or convincing anyone of anything. It's about being vulnerable, sharing your curiosity, and asking your partner how they feel about it. Your goal in this first chat isn't to open up your relationship. It's to understand how your partner feels about it and why. Before you even have this important conversation, make sure you've asked yourself the following 8 questions so that you can communicate effectively, not just clearly, to your partner. What's the difference between clear versus effective communication? Clear communication is about saying what you want to say. Effective communication is about being understood by who you're speaking to. There can be a lot of distance between saying what you want to say and actually being understood. Question 1, do I want to face my insecurities head on? Opening up your relationship will bring up unexpected challenges and insecurities for both of you. It's not an if, it's a win. So make sure both you and your partner's mental and emotional health is well managed before stepping into the arena of exploration. There's no shame in asking for professional support. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Weakness hides and denies. Strength steps boldly out into the arena and does whatever needs to get done to win the day. And sometimes that's asking for a teammate or coach's help. Question 2, how good is our communication? Open relationships work best when a connection is already on solid ground and communication is open and honest. Otherwise, it can just be a painful path toward a breakup. Ideally, both you and your partner are already great at identifying and communicating your needs to each other, but that won't always be the case. Make sure you've built communication frameworks in your relationship that support difficult conversations and uncomfortable feelings. Question 3, am I trying to improve my relationship by opening it, or am I trying to avoid or fix something? Sometimes a relationship can have significant problems or unaddressed issues, and it might feel easier to seek out other connections as a form of escape. Open dynamics should not be used to avoid anything in your current relationship. The choice to open up should be because you want to lean in rather than run away from anything. There are issues that opening up can help with, but generally this should build upon and strengthen what's there. Difficult things can come up in any relationship. The more relationships you have, the more work you'll get to do. Opening up is rarely the reason that a relationship ends, but it does shine a light on issues that were already there. It's up to you whether you want to work on them or run away, and the latter is the swiftest path to a breakup. Question 4, do we want to open our relationship equally and for the same reason? Contrary to what you might believe, both partners don't actually have to be a full fuck yes for opening up to be successful, but neither of you can be a fuck no. The more reluctant partner sets the pace. So if you're serious about giving this a go together, there's no rush. You might be considering opening up as a solution to mismatched relationship orientation. One of you is monogamous and the other is polyamorous. While it's certainly more challenging, it's not impossible. It's about taking responsibility for our own boundaries and not projecting them onto our partner. In other words, it's okay if we don't want to connect with other people, but if our partner does and wants to be with us, we need to decide if we're willing to be with someone who also sees other people. In the same way that if I want to be with other people and my partner doesn't, I don't get to force them to see other people. We're responsible for honoring our own desires and boundaries. We get to decide if we're okay being with a partner who sees other people. We don't get to tell them whether or not they can. Question 5, what emotions might come up when we date or sleep with other people? You might think you know how you're going to feel watching or hearing about your partner with someone else, but whether it's the first time or the 50th, at some point, some unexpected emotions will come up, guaranteed. It's important to have a plan in place for how to address those potentially uncomfortable emotions, both on your own and together. On the flip side, you may experience something called compersion, commonly referred to as the opposite of jealousy. This is when you experience pleasure from your partner experiencing pleasure with someone else. And it's actually something that can be strengthened and developed over time with practice. But what happens if one or both of you starts to feel jealous? Jealousy is complex and is going to come up at some point. So you definitely want to have a plan. Luckily, I made an entire video all about the 4 main types of romantic jealousy and how to handle them. Question 6, is this a deal breaker for me? What happens if one of us wants out? Before you go into this conversation, be clear with yourself about whether or not this is just a curiosity or if it's non-negotiable. But for now, keep that answer to yourself. This first conversation is about vulnerability and curiosity. You want to see how your partner feels about it. You don't want to draw a line in the sand right out the gate. Our desires are our responsibility to manage. We don't get to project them onto others as requirements. There's a difference between saying you're not allowed to see other people and I'm not interested in being with someone who also sees other people. The second option enables both of you to make your own choices. When you go into this conversation, leave the space for each of you to make your own decisions so you can come to an agreement as a couple. Question 7, what kinds of people and dynamics are you interested in and open to? This is something you'll dive into more as you move forward and build your relationship agreement together. But it's important to have at least a working knowledge for yourself so you can be specific. Make sure you have at least a basic understanding of the different relationship dynamics available. Polyamory is very different from an open relationship, which is in another universe compared to relationship anarchy. Question 8, what do you want to learn? I bet you thought this was just going to be a conversation about dating and sex. Joke's on you. This is about growth, personal development, sneak attack. What are the questions you're hoping to answer by exploring these new possibilities? Are you looking to expand your communication skills? Do you want to explore parts of your sexuality that you haven't had a chance to before? What has you curious? What has you nervous? Be willing to share it all with your partner. If you want them to be vulnerable with you, you need to be willing to do the same with them. Once you've answered these questions for yourself, it's time to invite your partner into the process. Lead with curiosity and compassion. Invite the conversation. Let them know you have something important you want to discuss and ask your partner to pick the time that's best for them to set aside an hour to talk with you. That way it's on their terms and lands as an invitation. Open the conversation by expressing your love for them and your commitment to the relationship. Let them know how much you value their presence in your life and the incredible impact that your partnership has had. Feel free to get specific about exactly why they are so special and why your relationship is so important to you. Introduce this new topic as something that you're curious about rather than committed to. And most importantly, that you're curious about exploring it with them, not just exploring it in general. The fact that it's something you want to share together is what's important at this stage. Explain why you're interested from an additive perspective. This means talking about all the benefits this could bring to your relationship and to both of you individually in the form of personal growth. Don't frame it as a solution to a problem. Positioning it as additive rather than reparative keeps the focus on the positive possibilities instead of a negative sense of frustration or lack. It's midpoint check-in time. You've talked a lot at this point. Now it's time for you to check in and do a little active listening to see how your partner is doing. Listening for your chance to respond is not what you want here. Active listening is about listening with the intention of understanding the person speaking. Your goal right now is to make sure you understand exactly what your partner means and needs, and how they're feeling and why. Once your partner has said that they're complete and ready to hear from you again, it's time to address their concerns. When addressing concerns, it means including yours too. It's crucial here that you also share your own fears with your partner so that they don't feel like they're alone in theirs. Open up the topic of boundaries and talk about creating a relationship agreement together before anything else moves forward. You're not opening up your relationship immediately. Right now, you're just agreeing to get curious and learn together so that you can both feel safe if you decide to explore further. Offer your partner reassurance and any comfort they might need. They get to feel however they want to feel. just like you, but neither of you is responsible for the other's feelings. Create a plan for resourcing and finding the right support together. Having the right support network of experienced, knowledgeable people is key. It can mean the difference between moving forward in a healthy way or not at all. Allow for time and space. You're not making a decision right now at this moment. This is the beginning of an ongoing conversation. It will continue even after you open up, if you choose to do so. Your partner might not even know how they feel about this right now. So give them the time and the space that they need to process it all. Close with appreciation. Thank them for being willing to get vulnerable with you and for allowing you to do the same. Acknowledge how brave they are to even consider something so new to both of you. Remind them that you're in this together and that you're willing to go at their pace. If you want even more structure and support than I provide in this video, check out the link below called How to Open Up Without Blowing Up. It provides a literal word-for-word template to guide you through this conversation. And if you're more interested in closing your already open relationship, make sure to check out my next video where I reveal 4 simple steps to close your open relationship, including a conversation starter to ease into things. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to hear when I release a new video about inclusive relationship dynamics.